Well, hello there viewers, and welcome to another episode here on the Shamblecraft server, and you joined me in an unfamiliar location. You joined me here in the main menu. The reason for this is that I've received a message, and that is, when you log in, record. So let's head to the multiplayer menu here. Let's get on with it. So logging in. Lots of lag. Okay, we're in our house. Oh, Jesus! I hate you, Mechanus. Oh, that nearly gave me a bloody heart attack. Oh. You absolute prick. Oh. I honestly don't even know how to react to that. My poor cardiac health. And it has Curse of Binding on a server with keep inventory. Well, well, anyway, we're going to be leaving that issue for later, because what I want to do now is get started on the projects I have for this episode. And the first of which is the one we sort of described at the very end of the last episode, and that is these farms right here. And what I have figured out is that I am in the wrong floor. So if we just shimmy down there we go. What I have figured out is that I can fit, in a 6 wide space, I can fit 2 chicken farms. So the big question is, do I want to do a double chicken farm right here? Because that means I can have one there and one there, or I can have 2 with a 1 wide space in between. Because what I want to do, I want these 2 chicken farms to have a sort of storage system of its own, so that you have a bunch of storage, and yeah, you basically have a small auto sorter, kind of like this, but it will be hopper based, no water streams. And what we'll have then, we'll have 2 automatic chicken farms that will produce, if I'm not mistaken, eggs, feather, raw chicken, cooked chicken. I did say eggs, right? So eggs, feather, cooked chicken, and raw chicken. So we're going to need 4 slots. And the plan is to have the farms here, but what I would really love to is to have the storage itself up here as well. So I'm wondering, can I manage to squeeze some sort of storage thing up front here, or do I just want to keep the farm itself here and have a separate mini storage system on the side here? Because this is where I plan on doing, in this wall here, a couple of minor tweaks, like food storage. I want to keep some other stuff that I want to have easily accessible in this little section here. So I have found a pretty okay tutorial for a simple chicken build. Chicken farm build on YouTube by Misty Cat. There's going to be a link to the tutorial in the description. And what we're going to be doing, first of all, is building up 2 of those chicken farms, and then we'll see how we can squeeze the storage in afterwards. But yeah, I'll start I'll start working on the chicken farms, and I'll get back to you. Well, alrighty then, viewers. So as you can see in that time lapse, we now have 2 functioning chicken farms, and I've now been AFK here for about 20 minutes just to let them sort of breed up and fill up with chickens, and they've already started producing, for some reason, raw chicken. I think this might be leftovers from when we took the chickens down, because a couple had died then from entity cramming before we'd sort of gotten the lava working properly. So that is probably leftovers from that. So that is probably just going to be cooked manually. But anyway, with the chicken farms taken care of, all that remains now is to connect these 2 output chests to some sort of storage system down below. But that is not something that I have to do right now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn my focus to these next slots, because the chicken farm, or the automatic chicken farms now, that was sort of just one out of several farms. What I want here is some sort of melon and pumpkin farm, and I'm probably going to be doing at least a semi-automatic design. What I want is an easy way to get pumpkins and melons, and if I can automate it, that would be great. I do have a design in mind. It's going to be like a very compact and not the most efficient design, but then again, I won't need that much of it. I just want to have a small reserve of melon and pumpkins, and this is a farm that is going to go straight into this storage system, since we have slots for melons and pumpkins there. And what we can do there, we can basically just have it drop straight into these water streams here, because the melons and pumpkins are all the way over on that side, because as you probably remember, the plans were to have the farms on that side. So what I really need to decide now is, do I want a melon farm here and a pumpkin farm here? Because what I also want is some sort of semi-automatic wheat farm. And what I have considered is doing, like, instead of having these 3 slots, just divide this slot over here and have a wider melon pumpkin farm here, and then having a wider wheat, potato and carrot farm over here. So basically I have to decide on that before I really start building. So I'm going to be looking at some designs and try to figure out what I want to do. But before then, I keep forgetting about the bloody phantom head. Before then, we have a couple of jobs to attend to, because as you may remember, we have some terraforming jobs that we haven't really done yet. And the first of which is at the community island, where Johnny, Mick, Newt and several others have been working on a mapping project, and they need some terraforming around the building. So I'm going to head over there, and I'll catch you in the at the mapping project. Well, okay, viewers, you join me here on the balcony of my Spawn Town building, a building we haven't been to in a while. And the reason for that is that from here we have a pretty good view over to the map building, and that is actually the building that we are sort of going to be working with, because I have an outstanding order to terraform around this building or shop, whatever you want to call it. So basically, what we need to do, we need to make the terrain around this building look somewhat sensible. So what I have a shulker box here that has some of the mats we're going to be needing, some dirt, some grass, and some stone. And I'm thinking that maybe we want to use this hill as a guideline. What we could do, we could really just extend this hill straight across like this and just have the hill go into that building. Make sure we keep this tunnel clear, and then we can sort of do the same thing here, because then we can get work underneath. We can work underneath the shop sign there. Yeah, I think that is a good way to do it. I have to be honest, I haven't really been given any sort of input in terms of how do you actually want this to look. So I'm guessing I've sort of been given a free rein here. So I'm thinking at least keep... I really like this sort of staircase here. So I'm thinking I'm going to see if I can try to keep at least parts of this, because it does look really good. And I'm going to actually give you a view of this building next episode, because we are doing a server tour episode for episode 28. But yeah, I think this seems like a pretty straightforward job. So I'm going to hit that time-lapse button and cue the music. Well, okay then, viewers, we are standing on the balcony and we are talking with the Finnish accent, because that is just how my life is now. So, as you can tell, we are now finished making the... see what I did there. We are now finished making the terraforming. We take the blocks, we pluck them up and we put them back down. And yes, it look very good. We put a bunch of bone meal and we put a bunch of trees. This now look very, very good. And because this spawn island and community build, we not charge them money for it. And I spend 45 minutes doing this for free, because that is how communism works. But anyway, we must go back to our regular ordinary lives with hydraulic press over at our main base. Well, okay then, we are back at our base, so we can finish up some bits here and there that needs doing. So, one thing I've already done, as you can see, I've now mended this staircase, so that is now complete, meaning we now have a access point, basically in between all the different floors and areas, including all the way down here. What I might do, because that should... No, the source blocks. What I need to do, I need to remove these so we can have the glass tubes going down there as well. But now we have a staircase so that we can easily get down to this level. So the only thing that really remains is we need to make some sort of staircase down here. And I was thinking if we do something like this, and then maybe actually starting there. We can do something like this and then sort of keep going down here, because this area here that I wasn't supposed to fall down into, but that's how it goes, I guess. This area here is going to be sealed off. This isn't going to exist. And the plan is to have basically a staircase going down and then, how do you call it? Basically have a staircase that's first steps down to this level and then steps all the way down. So hopefully that should be enough. Yes, that's going to have to... There's going to be purple blocks, purple stairs down there, purple blocks down over there, and then the stairs going down straight here. So what we need we need some purple blocks and some purple stairs to take care of that. And once that's taken care of, what we're going to be doing next... my throat went. Sorry about that. What we're going to do next after that is we are going to be starting work on the remaining farms. We have two farms left. I keep messing up. Is that going to work? I think that's going to work. So what we'll do, we'll have to go to about there, I think. But what we need to do now, we need, well, not to fall down like that. That was not the intention. But what we need to do, we need to actually place these like this so that we can sort of see the outline of where the staircase is going to be. It's going to be a long staircase. I mean, it would actually be better probably. We might actually have to do that. I was thinking maybe we have to do water elevators, because I have a sneaking suspicion. Or is it just barely going to work? Yeah, it's just barely going to work. That's good. Okay, so that means that one and that one. Yeah. So that is just barely going to work. But that means we now have, an easy way to get in between the various bits here, which is very practical. We're going to ignore that for the time being. We're going to do this and that. Why didn't I do this to begin with? But yeah, anyway, I'm basically just rambling at this point. So what we're going to do, we're going to finish some of this, and I'm not going to bother with a time-lapse for it, because it's not really that exciting. But once that is taken care of, we're going to go upstairs, and we're going to start working on the farms, because I really want to get all the farms sorted in this episode. And what I'm thinking is that the little sort of hidden area behind here can be a very good entrance to the mine, because we need an entrance to what's going to be our mine shaft. And I'm thinking behind here we can fit an item elevator. What's the? It's been a long day. It's been a very, very long day. But basically, behind that staircase, I'm thinking that's where we can do a sort of hidden entrance to the mine shaft. With some sort of water elevator. And what I really want to do, if possible, I would love to, and I need to figure out the coordinates for that, have an item elevator at the bottom of the mining shaft, so that I can basically deposit a chest and have that be transported up and into the system, so that whenever I get a bunch of stone, a bunch of this, a bunch of that, I can just have it filter straight into the to the sorting system, rather than having to put it into shulker boxes and manually carry it up. But yeah, that is the staircase done. I wasn't going to talk through all of that, but I mean, that's how these things go, I guess. So I'm just going to finish this, and the next time you see me, I'm going to be upstairs. Huh. Neat. I'm going to be upstairs working on the farms. Well, okay, viewers, you join me here on top of the farm gallery, as I've decided to call it. And as you can see, the chicken farms are working away steadily, even though they are very, very slow, and I can't really figure out why. We are now, however, going to move over to the next farm that is going to be here, and that is going to be a compact melon and pumpkin farm that is going to be fully automatic. So, yeah, I have the sign ready. And I think what I'm going to do, instead of doing a bunch of explanation now, I think we're going to cut to a time-lapse of this being built, and I'll explain afterwards. Well, okay then, viewers, we are just about done with our farm. We are just heading down here to the public farms to see if we can get some seeds, and hopefully there should be seeds somewhere here. I thought we had, there we go. Okay, we should be able to make seeds out of pumpkins, right? We can. So that's 44 seeds, goody good. And we're gonna, do we have melon seeds? Yeah, we don't have that many melon seeds. We're just gonna take 9 of those. I think that's gonna be enough. Oh, and you can't make, oh no, because that has already been put together. Ah, okay. That explains it. Well, what if we do this? I think you're supposed to use an axe for this, but as you probably remember from previously, I have misplaced my axe. But let's just check that this will give us melon seeds once we're done. Because if we have enough melon seeds, then we are basically good to go. And they will give us a stack of melon seeds. Goody good. Well, in that case, we are actually well underway. We have finished the terraforming job. We finished the farms. And we are now heading back to the base to do the final little finishing touch on the melon and pumpkin farm. Well, okay, we are just about ready. So what we're going to do, we are going to use the fly mode here to go underneath. And hopefully, let's see if we can do this without becoming murdered. Dingleberry. Okay, so for those of you who, I mean, you know, let's just put all of this in and then I'll explain how this farm works. And there we go, that should be the last one. It is now fully planted on both sides and we can head out here. What we need to do now, that's basically the last thing we need to do. We need to bring this cart back into its place, which is there. And then we can crawl out here, place that final block. And we can place these final glass panes. So now we have basically the only accessible point now to this farm is this little hole here, which is sort of a maintenance hole. And we can also access it from the back. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to just see, do I have any blocks that we can stand on? Yeah, we can use these. So if I do this, what I've done now is basically, as you can see here, at the very, very bottom, you have a whole array of what they call rails. And they power a hopper minecart that sort of will go back and forth and collect everything. And that will go back and forth collecting the melons and pumpkins as they go. And what I'm probably going to do, I'm going to replace that button with a lever so that that cart will be going back and forth constantly, because I've had a look and it should, without any issue, go back and forth all the time. On top here we have the pistons, we have the observers noticing whenever one of the crops grow, which will power the piston, and the piston will push down and break either the melon or the pumpkin, giving us the fruits of our labour, literally, which will then be picked up by this hopper minecart. So the only thing that really remains, we need to take... Am I now going to have to actually go around looking for cobblestone? That would just be ridiculous. So cobblestone and a stick makes a lever. And then we take the lever. We break that button. We add the lever instead. And there we go. So that should now... There we go. It gets powered. that will now go back and forth and collect the melons and pumpkins as they are dropped, and hopefully, if everything works, after some AFKing, we should see some melons and pumpkins in that chest right there. But that is actually all I have time for in this episode. So thank you very, very much for watching. The next episode, episode 28, is going to be a very special one. It was actually supposed to be episode 25, but things got delayed. So episode 28 is going to be the very first server tour of the Shamblecraft server. It's now been a couple of months. We've played a whole bunch, and I think it's time that I show off some of the other amazing builds on this server that haven't been seen in other episodes. We're going to go back to the main island and have a look at some of the builds there, and I'm going to be flying around and having a look at some of the stuff being done, and that is going to be on stream actually Thursday, October 23rd? 22nd? Give me a second, let me check my calendar. 22nd, yeah. So, October 22nd, this episode should be out by then, so make sure to mark your calendars. 8 PM Thursday, the 22nd, there's going to be a live stream. We're going to be recording parts of episode 28, announcing some other cool stuff coming for Halloween. And yeah, that is basically it for now. Thank you very, very much for watching this episode. For once, I'm going to ask, I mean, I don't like doing it, but I feel I have to do it now and then. If you really enjoy this episode, feel free to like it, feel free to subscribe, and if it would really help, it would really make my day if you would like to share this video with a friend. But yeah, thank you very much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye!